Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I will be reviewing Before Sunset. Before Sunset is a romance drama written and directed by Richard Linklater, very well known for the films Dazed and Confused, Walking Life, and of course Before Sunrise. So, Before Sunset is the sequel to the film Before Sunrise, and this film, I think, if I remember correctly, takes place 9 to 10 years after the original. I think this one came out in 1995. The original one came out in 1995, and this one came out in 2004. So I think it was a 9-year process of this film. It is crazy how a film like this, a sequel, be this long after. Especially a film that's an indie type film. Usually indie films, you make one and that's it. For a film like this to have a sequel, that says something. And not only is this a sequel to which I would very much possibly say the greatest romance film of all time, they come and they hit it again with another masterful film of Before Sunset. Let's start off with the performances, of course. We got Ethan Hawke playing the character of Jesse, and he is doing this book tour in Vienna, in which he's there talking about the book, and he's there just doing this tour around the world, doing this little book tour, and that's where he sees the character of Celine, and hasn't seen her in 9 years. Of course, spoilers, at the end of the original film they were supposed to in 6 months time get together again, but yeah, it didn't happen. So 9 years later he sees her and they go through Vienna talking about what they've missed, how things and how their future changed and how they are differently. And Ethan Hawke is fantastic in this film as well. This is also the film that's written by both of them. The original wasn't written by both of them. It was originally written by Richard Linklater, but this one, they also wrote Ethan Hawke really deeply, if that's how you pronounce her name. Both of them wrote this one as well. And you can tell, this film is not, saying this once, but Before Sunrise is just one of the most well-written films. I believe this film is even better when it comes to the writing. I think the dialogue is much better, much smoother, and I thought the writing in this film is masterful. But yeah, Ethan Hawke is fantastic in this film. He's great. He's always great. He's always a great actor. He's a little older. He's fantastic in this movie. Julia Deeply is great as well. I think she's great in this movie specifically. I thought she was great. Her character and just the acting from her is just fantastic, because there's a lot of shit that you get to see from her and a lot of insights, and they're all grown up too, so it's like they're adults and stuff, so it's a very much adult way. In the original, it was a very much young love. Here is more older. They're still young, but adults. Like they're adults. They're like older compared to the originals. But she's fantastic in this film. And all around, I thought the performance in this film is just masterful. Both of them just killed it for a second time, and it is fantastic, their performances, and it's just an incredible performance by those two. The direction by Richard Linklater is great as usual. I mean, after this movie, he's done a lot of great films. Again, he started off with Dazed and Confused. He did School of Rock as well, and he's great. He's a great director, and he's a great writer, very much a great writer. He directed very well in this film. I thought the film was very well directed, very well made, as usual. The writing is masterful. Like I said, the writing is just fantastic. The dialogue is so real. It's so realistic, and that's why I love these films. They're so realistic. It's so real. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like semi-over-dramatic. It felt real, and it feels real, and that's what I love about these films. These films have done that perfectly, in my opinion. But the writing in this film is surprisingly even better. I thought the writing in this film is better. And I think this film, at times, is a better movie than the original, because it deals deep with a lot of insights of, like, love and being a husband, being a wife, and just it goes deep. It goes really deep, because in the original they were young love. I don't think they know much about love at all. They're young. They're like, I think 22, 24. They're young, and they were very young in the original film. It's just, I like this film better because it gives out an insights. It gives it a much older, deeper insights of how love works and how these two people, how things could have happened if they would have met them 6 months, and them just really dealing deep on that. And I thought the writing for that was just masterful. The chemistry between these two are just astonishing. When it comes to love romance films, which I personally am not a biggest fan of them. There's, especially the modern romance movies these days, they're very stupid. They're very stupid. But I really did love this film and the romance of it. But the chemistry, again, is just masterful. There's just a masterful chemistry between them two. And the chemistry is just You can very much tell these guys really do care for each other, and it's fantastic, the chemistry. Cinematography is great, as usual. I thought the cinematography is really good. It's going around Vienna, seeing things. The side characters of the original there's not much of that. There's no really any side characters in this film. It's more of them two together. I don't mind it. I thought them two really did deal deep in the film, and they really held up the film. The music is great, as usual. There's always great music in these films. The romance, France type music. The music is always great. And all around, just an amazing film. Film for a sequel to be as good and better, kind of, as the original, that is something that is very rare. There's, of course, classics, Terminator 2, Toy Story 2, Aliens. There are fantastic sequels in this world. But I thought the sequel holds up, and it's fantastic. And I find it a little better because it's more modern. It's a more adult when they're adults, and you can very much see the difference in just their deepness and what they've been through. It's fantastic. It's a really fantastic film, and I think it's, like, again, up there as one of the greatest romance movies of all time. And I think it's tied with Before Sunrise in my personal opinion. I thought the romance and the direction was just fantastic. And if I'm gonna give this film a rating, it's as good as the original and better, and it's part of one of the greatest trilogies of romance films, and for that I'm gonna give it another legendary 6-star rating. I don't give much. Well, I gave the original 6-star, but I felt like this film is as good or better than the original, and that you gotta give it that, and I think that works, and it's perfect. It's literally, there is 0 flaws I can give this film. There's literally 0 flaws. There's films that are perfect and you look at and there's some things that could have been done better, but this film is perfect. Nothing. I mean, if you get bored of dialogue, then that's up to you guys, but I personally, I enjoy a much deeper thought of a film, and I thought this film delivered in all angles. And yeah, I thought this film was great. It's one of the greatest romance movies of all time. Two, the second one, but both are some of the greatest romance movies of all time, and it's great. It's a fantastic film. So yeah, that is my review for Before Sunset. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next review. Peace.